Hi, welcome, Jacob Levis, your Chief Growth Officer of the Convert Group. Well, firstly, Jacob, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what path you took to become Chief Growth Officer at Convert Group?
Hi, Steve. Thank you for having me today. It's a pleasure to be discussing this with you. Let me start by introducing myself. Like you mentioned, my name is Jacob Levis, and I've been working as Chief Growth Officer at Convert Group for the last couple of years. What brought me here is an extensive experience in the space of data analytics, data monetization, and retail media. I worked for pretty much 8 years in London for dunnhumby, and since then I moved to Convert Group, working across different roles. And in my experience, I've sold retail media, I've sold insights, I've done consultancy around data monetization, and most recently been leading business development teams, both to recruit retailers and sell to brands, but also the customer success side of our business. So I've seen what data sharing and data monetization looks like from different perspectives, let's say.
Okay, that's really good. So, I mean, 8 years at dunnhumby and a successful career there. It must have taken, a lot for you to leave. So, what was it about the Convert Group that attracted you?
Yeah, great question, actually. So, what really inspired me in making this move away from dunnhumby was going to a startup or a scale up. So, Convert Group is a Greek-based scale up, a company that has been around for 10 years, initially as an e-commerce consultancy, but 5 years in, the founders basically sold the consultancy business to Ernst& Young and became a data company with ambitions to become basically um, the the way that retailers collaborate with their suppliers. And I was really drawn by that ambition, the platform that the team had built, and the culture of the company. So, being given much more responsibility and the ability to come here in a role where I really see the difference that we bring to our retailers and our brands on a daily basis was really inspiring. And as a company that is funded by institutional and private investors, everything is much faster in terms of the pace of the work, and it's really exciting and inspiring.
Okay, that's great. So my understanding then is, as you say, that the Convert Group is a Greek-based tech company. But why don't you tell us a bit more? Tell us what your proposition is. What types of clients are you going after, and what does the Convert Group do?
Yeah, perfect. So basically, like I mentioned, Convert Group helps retailers monetize their data with their suppliers. So really, we focus in
Jacob, is that any data? Could that be EPOS? Could it be the customer loyalty data, first party
de
data? Is it?
depending on the sophistication of the retailer, it can vary. We start from transactional data, which is the simplest form. And we also deal with retail media data, we deal with e-commerce data and customer data. So if we're looking at our solution being fully deployed for a sophisticated retailer, brands would be able, through different modules of this platform, to get access to information that will help various stakeholders within their organization, whether that's salespeople, marketing people, brand marketing people, to really get insights on how they can improve their business with a said retailer. So basically, what we do is we bring this platform, which is very, very flexible, modular, and customizable to retailers of different size. We work with retailers today that vary from 100 million all the way up to 5 billion, We cover many industries, which is something that many companies out there also in the space of data monetization do not do. So we go beyond grocery. We also work very heavily in pharmacy. We work with the largest marketplace in Greece. We work with consumer electronics, and we've got also brands in clothing, in DIY, and other industries. We actually see this trend of data monetization and data sharing becoming very relevant, not only in grocery retail, but other verticals as well. So what we
Okay.
do is we bring the technology, we bring the processes, we bring the people to enable retailers to do the data sharing with pretty much no risk and in a scalable manner.
Okay, and that's great. And I guess monetizing customer loyalty data was something that dunnhumby pioneered back in the almost 25 years ago now, when everything was very new. But since then, there's quite a large number of companies would credibly say that they've got solutions that allow retailers to monetize that data. So, what is it about the Convert Group that you think differentiates you in some shape or form?
There are several things that actually differentiate us to some of the biggest players out there. You mentioned dunnhumby, but there are a couple of other big names also playing in this space. I think the ones I would really highlight is how fast we are in actually setting this up. As a startup, we've been able to cut down deployment timings to just 3 to 4 weeks rather than taking months to set this up. We're very flexible in the ways of working. We do not believe in just outsourcing everything and becoming a third party that deals with everything, but we find the right ways of working between us and the retailer to help them achieve their ambitions in this space. And one other very important thing is our e-commerce expertise. E-commerce is becoming increasingly relevant, and because of our consulting background, we have a lot of information in our tools that help brands make better actions online. And last but not least, and I think very relevant to this discussion that we're having, is the synergies that we're creating with retail media. Everyone is talking about retail media today, conferences you've been to, everyone is talking about retail media. And we decided that we do not want to be part of retail media when it comes to activation, but we want to ride the wave on what we do really well, which is data. So we've made sure that the insights coming out of our platform are very relevant to assist brands in doing retail media planning. And more importantly, we've identified that one of the biggest difficulties in retail media today is measurement. So, with all the data that we have, and by connecting to retail media networks out there, we are agnostic on who these may be. We already work with several of the big names out there. We are able to offer brands real-time measurement with very granular insights on how their campaigns have performed and what they can do differently to optimize them.
Yeah, that's very interesting, and you're quite right to say that is a hot topic. And I know that retailers wrestle with it, but especially brands who, from my experience, are really not quite sure how they should be measuring it in the first place, and then finding it difficult sometimes to access the data that they believe that they need, and particularly on a timely basis. So that's really interesting that you're offering that in close to real time. No, that's great. Are there any particular success stories that you can point to?
Yeah, of course. We've been doing this, as I mentioned, for the last 5 years, and we've had several retailers across the various industries who have trusted us with their data. Namely, if I wanted to mention some of them, we're working with Dr. Max across 6 countries. Dr. Max is the largest pharmacy chain in Europe with more than 3,000 stores. Why is this a big success for us? Because imagine having to do in just 2 months 6 deployments of platforms for the different countries, having to liaise with all the commercial teams and marketing teams in all these countries. And within just 6 months, we've seen tens of their suppliers actually onboarded to the platform and really changing the way that they are collaborating with our particular retailer. A couple of other case studies I would like to highlight and successes that we've seen is we often hear retailers say, I already share some data. It could be Excel documents, it could be a Power BI. What we've seen is that with our solution and our expertise, retailers have been able to increase the revenue that they are bringing in from suppliers because we're moving away from just sharing data to giving them actionable insights that they can then use. And in that process, we have actually brought the retailer cost savings. So not only are they making more money, but we're actually saving them money in the process of doing so. And the last success that I want to talk to you about is, again, going back to this piece of retail media and our synergies that we have created in this space, which is we've seen these connections between the retail media networks and ourselves, creating two incremental revenue streams. The one is the more we connect insights and retail media, the more revenue we're generating on insights because there is more appetite for brands who want to improve their planning and get a better measurement. And on the flip side, the as far as you improve the measurement and the brands can see this, they will then invest more on retail media. So we've got an example of a retailer where by doing insights and media together, we increased their insights revenue by 60%. And we've got a brand where by giving them better measurement, they doubled within just 6 months the retail media investment with the largest marketplace in Greece. So these are very measurable results of how bringing these two things together can have very positive effects for everyone in this ecosystem and can be win-win-win.
No, that's really very very good. So how then does your business model work? Who pays you? Is it the retailer or the brand?
Very good question. So we're quite flexible on how we work. Usually, we partner with retailers in a revenue share model, which is risk-free for them, meaning that only when brands actually invest in this data because they see the value of it will we get paid. In some cases, where retailers have quite a big upside from selling this data, they actually opt into a license fee because they do not want to share the proceeds of a business that is scaling over time. We're very flexible. And I think each case varies depending on the needs of that particular retailer and what they want us to bring to the table. Because there are some retailers who just want the technology from us. There are others who want the technology and part of our expertise in doing the selling, and others who want the full package of us bringing the platform, doing the selling, but also doing the customer success to enable better collaboration between the retailer and the brand.
Yeah, very clear, very good. And what issues or challenges are you wrestling with currently?
That's a very good question, and of course, for anyone who is in sales, I'd be lying if there are not challenges that we're facing. I think the biggest challenge that we're facing is long sales cycles when it comes to getting retailers to trust us with their data in order to create this new revenue stream for them and help them improve the way they collaborate with these brands. And the reason why I feel personally that these sales cycles are even longer than they used to be is because there is so much focus today on retail media from retailers There's so much noise in this space with so many providers who are basically pitching retailers for their solutions, which can be, on-site, off-site, you name it, that this has taken priority, and then data is considered as a nice to have rather than a must have.
Hmm.
I feel like this is changing, especially where we're seeing retailers who've established their retail media business. They understand the need for having good data for planning, for measurement, and to actually bring to life all the customer data that they have in their repositories. So I think this challenge will change, but it's still very much apparent for us.
Yeah, I can certainly think of some retailers who separate out the role of the retail media network and keep it focused on the media side of things, and then have a separate uh, business unit or entity for the data monetization. And I can well see the benefits of an integrated approach and how that would also then um, play out with higher spend on retail media as brands can start to see the impact that they're having. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. So well, just
It's a
final.
fair point, actually, Steve. If I can jump in here, we've seen some retailers who've taken this decision of actually taking a hit, if you could say that, on selling data and say, you know what, we are not going to charge you for this, but instead we will make it part of our retail media packages. Obviously, that increases the spend on the retail media package, but it's all part of one common uh, offering rather than disjointed offerings with different use cases associated to them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So well, that's great. All very very clear. Thank you for explaining. So I guess final question: what does the future hold for the Convert Group?
Yeah, I mean, uh, as I said in the previous topic and the challenges, I think we're seeing more retailers understand the true value of their data, and we're having some very exciting discussions in this space. So we anticipate we're going to have more of them. We also see that whereas previously it was all about outsourcing everything, retailers are increasingly looking to insource, but not necessarily the technology. They are keen to bring technology from third parties, but want to have um, the ownership of the selling and the experience that then the brands are having in terms of how they collaborate with them. And very, very importantly, I think we're seeing that measurement will become a necessity. So this trend that we are working on of creating those synergies between insights and media will become the norm in the years to come. Needless to say, AI is definitely in our space. Companies that will use it smartly um, will address some of the issues that brands have in using these tools, which is I don't have the time, I don't have the capacity, I'm using different platforms for different retailers. So obviously, we need to continue to innovate and adapt. And I think it's very exciting times for all of us ahead.
Brilliant. Jacob, Chief Growth Officer, the Convert Group. Many thanks indeed.
It was a pleasure, Steve. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.